just trying to get to the points, make my points here. Verse 24, so they saved it until morning as Moses commanded it. What he asked them to do there is they weren't going to have any food on Sunday, so they were supposed to save some for Saturday. So they saved it until morning as Moses commanded, and it did not stink or get maggots in it. That's what happened to the other, the ones that did keep it during the week. Eat it today, Moses said, because tomorrow is the Sabbath to the Lord. You will not find any of it on the ground today. 6 days you are to gather it, but on the 7th day, the Sabbath, there will not be any. Nevertheless, some of the people went out on the 7th day to gather it, but they found none. So once again, some of them still couldn't follow the instructions on the box. They had to do it their way. They wanted to do it their way. Not God's way, but their way. And if we continue on in Exodus, if you go to the 17th chapter, it talks about water from the rock, and I'll read verses 3 and 4. But the people were thirsty for water there, and they grumbled against Moses. They said, why did you bring us up out of Egypt to make us and our children and livestock die of thirst? Then Moses cried out to the Lord, what am I to do with these people? What am I going to do? You can tell Moses' frustration. Is Moses losing his patience? Do the Israelites have patience? Go down further to verses 8 through 16. The Israelites are battling the Amalekites. And Moses puts his arms up, and what happens? The Israelites are winning. When his arms get tired and he puts them down, what happens? They start losing. So we have Aaron and Hur. They get a rock for Moses to sit on, and each of them hold one of his arms up all through the day, so that the battle went on all day and they won. Great accomplishment. Great story. Okay. Then we know about God calling Moses up into the mountain, telling him about the 10 Commandments. And that takes from chapters 19 up through 32. And I'm going to go to chapter 32 and read verses 19 through 22. I have to wear my glasses, so I always forget something. When Moses approached the camp and saw the calf, so I'll go back for a minute and tell everybody, particularly the young people like Thomas and Clark, they may have forgotten, but I'm sure they haven't. But Moses went up in the mountains, and while he was gone, what did the Israelites do? They wanted an idol worship. And Aaron says, well, go get me some jewelry, give me your earrings and your rings, and I'll make this golden calf so you guys can worship. So when Moses approached the camp and saw the calf and the dance, seeing his anger burn, and he threw the tablets out of his hands, breaking them to pieces at the foot of the mountain. My kids will tell you that I probably have something in common with Moses, because I do get angry once in a while. So that's a flaw that I have. Linda thinks I ought to go to anger management school. Maybe I do. Someone told me those shots I got in my back, they've got steroids in them. So that could be the reason my temper's gotten shorter. Or maybe it's my old age. Or maybe I just need to work on controlling it a little bit more. I'm sorry, got off the beaten path there. When Moses approached the camp and saw the calf and the dancing, his anger burned, and he threw the tablets out of his hands. Well, the reason I was telling you that is, I'm not perfect. I do have issues. And I think everybody should freely admit we all have flaws. We're not perfect in this world. And we have to admit that we have weaknesses and we got things that we got to work on. And that's one that I have to, is on the anger. I'm sorry. I'll get back to When Moses approached the camp and saw the calf and the dancing, his anger burned, and he threw the tablets out of his hand, breaking them into pieces at the foot of the mountain. And he took the calf that they had made and burned it in the fire. Then he ground it to powder, scattered it on the water, and made the Israelites drink it. Moses was not happy. He was upset. I would say his patience had run out. And the patience of the people. Again, I'll ask, were the Israelite people a patient people? Were they forbearing? But it's interesting. If you go down to verse 21, he said to Aaron, Moses did, "What did these people do to you, that you led them into such great sin?" And what does Aaron reply? "Don't be angry, my Lord. You know how prone these people are to evil." Hey, what he's saying is, don't blame me. It's not my fault. I can't help it that they act that way. They came to me and, what was I supposed to do with them? Well, Aaron, you could be a leader and stand up on principles and not be wishy-washy and not sway to the right or sway to the left. And just because you may get a little heat, you may get a little criticism, people may not like you, you need to stand on your principles. But did Aaron do that? All the while I'm reading this, I'm reflecting back on this past week. And I can correlate some of the things that's going on here in Exodus with my own personal life. Got my kids. I'll pick on them again. We're in the car. Let's eat out. Where are we going to eat? I want to eat here. I want to eat there. I don't want to go to Bob Evans, Dad. That's the only place you ever want to go. You think they would be thankful that they're going to get a meal out. But instead, they're not going to be happy unless what? They get what they want. It's what I want. It's not what's best for the whole family. It's what I want. This is the way I want things to be done. This week, coming up on Tuesday, what's happening Tuesday? Selection. Whether you're right, whether you're left, whether you're Republican or Democrat, we're going to have votes, and there's going to be changes. Some people aren't going to be happy, some are. But the thing about the governmental system is, it's going to continue to move on. The people are going to have to accept the decision, and life goes on. Very soon, with 3 weeks, we're going to have Black Friday. You know what Black Friday is? What happened last Black Friday? Was it last year that the guy got ran over in Walmart in New York? People ran this guy over. And he died. For what? And you read the stories of the two ladies fighting over the last plasma TV or some other material item. We know what's going to happen. There's going to be incidents there. Because that's just human nature. That's how the world acts. Sometimes I see people in the church acting that way. And that's sad. Thanks, Jim. Do we see that in the church? Do we see people acting like that? And again, I'm sad to say it does. A couple of weeks ago, I took the boys down to Fall Fest in Cincinnati. Doing that father thing. Trying to help my kids in their walk in life. Trying to help them gain strength in their faith. Letting them fellowship with other kids their age of the same faith. Well, while I was gone, Mike Hartman spoke here. And Mike spoke on the Holy Spirit from his viewpoint. When I got back, one of the members says, what he said was unscriptural. He shouldn't be allowed to come back and speak. We shouldn't let that happen. Why are we so reactive? Are we all that weak in our faith that we can't hear somebody else's point of view that confesses to be a member of the church? Now we're going to meet, Clyde's going to be down on the 21st And hopefully Mike and Jeremy are going to